Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and on today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to take off the intake manifold on a 1990 Mazda Miata. Now, this might work for all NAs, but it definitely works for the 1.6. Not sure how similar the intake manifolds are on the 1.6 and the 1.8, but if you do have a 1.8, then just compare this video. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, the reason I am taking off is because I do want to paint it, and my whole kind of deal is to just clean up the engine bay, make it look a little bit nicer than it does right now. So I think that's a great way to do it. So we got the Miata right here. I've seen some people do some pretty unnecessary things to get this thing off, but I'm gonna try to show you guys the easiest way to do it. But just the basics is you have to take off the throttle body, you gotta take off this, you gotta take off the throttle body cable, and then you also have to take off the fuel rail to get to the actual bolts. Alright, so we're going to start the most simplest thing here, which is taking off the throttle body cable. So you just have to move it like this, and then out to the side like that. Just like that. It's good to go. And then there's just two 10mm right here that we're going to take off. Alright, so I take back what I said. I'm actually going to take this off, and then all you have to do is take this off, this clamp, and you have to take off this hose right here, and then this whole thing should slide off. I believe there is one more screw down here too. If you look under these cables, I'll show you guys a close-up here in a second. Now, I'm sure you could probably get the other two bolts for the throttle body down there if you really wanted to, but we're not going to make it harder on ourselves. So we're going to disconnect this hose and go from there. So pretty simple. I just disconnected this as well, and then there's also a bolt that's kind of under these wires that holds that part in. So that's basically all you have to get, though. You don't have to pull it away that much. Then I just disconnected this connector as well, but now we are just going to get these bolts off. These are exposed now. You can kind of see under there, and there's one right there as well. Alright, now that we got those off, basically just pull this, just leave it just like that. Don't really have to do anything with it at that point. So that is off. So that's one step complete. Now we got to take off this, and I believe these are 8mm bolts. You could also use a Phillips head, but I think we're just going to use the 8mm. Take that off. Should go pretty quick. Got our little baby ratchet here. Anything works. All right, now this last one's gonna be a little bit hard. You gotta kind of use a wrench to get it. Oh, wrong. Yep. There we go. It's off. All right, now we're just gonna disconnect all these little miscellaneous connections to the intake manifold. I believe this is a vacuum hose. Just like that. Also going to disconnect the fuel one. PCV valve. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is disconnect the fuel rail. Just two bolts. I believe these are either 12 or 14mm. Just take those off. Then we're also going to disconnect this hose right down here. I believe we also have to disconnect the fuel regulator. Now be careful with this. Fuel might go places when you disconnect it, so just be careful. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so now that we got the fuel rail out, we could get to the bolts for the intake. Sadly, I scratched my valve cover. Maybe I could paint over it or just, I don't know, just leave it, I guess. But as you can see down there, there's a bunch of little 12mm bolts. There's some on the top, some on the bottom that we need to get to, so let's do it. So we got it out. So basically what you're looking at is you got 5 bolts at the top, 4 at the bottom. Now the ones at the top are a little bit easier to get to, but just so you know where the bolts are, for the bottom, they're directly under each little shoe. So it's pretty complicated getting there. Bruised up my hand pretty bad. Can't really tell, but man, it's flaming right now. Hit it on the ratchet. But one thing to watch out for when doing this, guys, is when you remove the intake manifold, there is going to be a load of coolant that goes down. So you want to make sure to soak it up, make sure it doesn't get in your intake valves, because if it does, that can cause a serious issue. But it's looking pretty dry. I'm going to double check though before I put everything together, just let it dry out for a while. But yeah, just fair warning, when you remove this, there will be a bunch of coolant that comes out right here, I believe. So you are gonna have to add coolant. I'll probably do a video on that later this week of how to bleed the whole cooling system. But yeah, so that's the only thing to watch out for. Also, there'll be this will be connected over here, and then there's also this little thing with all the electric kind of stuff on it that'll be connected by a bolt right here. So it's out. There it is, guys. Everything on this car is doable by yourself. I wouldn't ever take anything like this to a dealership or just, I mean, a mechanic or anything. But yeah, guys, I'm super dirty. My hand is on fire. I don't know what I did to it. The ratchet basically broke and it hit me like right in the middle of the hand. I can't show you because I have the camera in one hand, but it hit me on the corner of the hand. Whoops. But anyways, yeah, so that is how you take it off, guys. I'm gonna replace the manifold gasket, and then you just, you know, reverse the steps to get it back in. So not too bad. This whole thing probably took me about an hour and a half. So just beware about that coolant though, guys. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be happy to help. I'm learning about this car day by day. I knew my Integra pretty well, but I want to get to learn this one a lot more too. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, guys.